Kumasi, where customers of Gold Coast Securities, a subsidiary of Group Indum, are demanding payment of their deposits, failure for which they will take the institution on. Now, some of them say the unsuccessful efforts to access their monies is collapsing their businesses. The affected customers are particularly aggrieved by management's silence over failure to pay since last August after promising to do so. Prince Apia has more in this report.
The government's latest banking sector reform have resulted in reducing the number of banks in the industry in a bid to strengthen the sector. But these measures, in a way, have brought some stress on some innocent customers of some of these banks, like GN Bank, now GN Savings and Loans. Customers of some of these banks are unable to retrieve their deposits or access their funds, a big worry to them.
Since August, anytime I go there, they told me there's no money. As I speak to you now, I'm traveling and I need the money to travel. They told me, when I went down in August, they told me to come in October. I went in October, they told me December. December too, I came and they told me January, 2nd January, everything will be fine. And up to now, I've not even received one peso. Yesterday, I went there, I was crying, begging the manager, I need my money to travel. Up to now, I've not received a penny. Meanwhile, they are doing commercials on TV station. Yesterday, I was on a Huto FM. They were doing commercials that the bank is operating. It's now from GM Bank to GM Savings and Loans. So now the bank is operating. Meanwhile, when you go there, you don't get your money.
All I want to tell Pacos is that, please, we need our money. We are begging you to pay us our money.
What do they tell you when you go to the bank?
Yeah, I went there yesterday and they tell us that they don't have money. So unless maybe March. But me, I can't wait till that month. So I really need my money. It's affecting my business because I really need money to buy goods.
Some teachers whose salaries are paid through GN Bank say their request for clearance letters to enable them changed banks has been ignored.
And for a couple of months now, we've not been receiving our salaries. Even though government pays, GN will credit you and then they will take processing fee. But anytime you go there, they will tell you there's no money. Anytime you go, there's no money. Talk of November, the whole of November, they only gave me 200 Ghana from my branch, Kenya UST. From that time till now, we are still not getting anything from them. Anytime you go, they will tell you there's no money. Anytime you go, there's no money. I opened school on the 14th. Last week, I went there, begged them that I need something so it can transport me to my school. So date you go, they say there's no money. So I don't know if the bank is collapsing. They should let us know that it's collapsing so we will know what to do. Then,
amid the frustration, they still receive messages every month indicating their salary has hit their account, from which the bank continues to deduct service charges. Local managers of the company have declined comment on the issue. Prince Apia reporting.
And I'm sure that you've had many stories like this one, people investing and then getting disappointed in the end. We've been running a poll we want to update you on right now. In light of all that is happening, in the wake of recent happenings, would you still try some investments? Surprisingly, 66% say, yes, I'll try, and 34% say, no, never. Well, this is based on 560 votes. Interesting outcome there. 66% still, saying they would continue to invest despite all that we're seeing happening. So what are you saying? Don Lyric says, upon what all that is happening in the banking sector and men's gold controversies, I will never and ever invest in any cherished financial institution again. Apparently, I'll rather manage my capital efficiently and use the remaining one for establishment of elegant buildings, you want to say. I don't know about that, but I wish you all the best. Nana Isia says, First Ally Savings and Loans Board wants to depict Namwan's attitude. 8 months and no one can transact business. First Allied Savings and Loans, are you watching? This one says from Maha Nation, still have passion for investment, but will first do due diligence before. And that's very important. We've had analysts say that due diligence is important, even though it's risky. And let's take the very last one, David Dutz, saying it depends on the type and nature of the said investment, considering how genuine it is and reasonable rate of return. So shouldn't we invest following these happenings? The genuine ones are still in business and operational. I like the part where he says that the genuine ones are still in business and operational. So that's just let's say some of you sharing your thoughts there on our poll tonight. 66% saying they'll still go ahead to invest. Well, so looking at what we have seen, what should we do? Well, we have been hearing from the MD of Dafin Finance, Frank Kwache, who tells us what to do before you invest and where to invest in.
Take some risk, but get a portfolio.
Okay.
Don't put all the eggs in one basket.
Yeah, true. Diversification.
Diversification, inherently what I call, it's got an insurance premium in there.
Okay.
If I have, let's say, for argument's sake, 1,000 Ghana cedis, I might say that on the average, I might want to put maybe 500 into fixed income, 500 into equities, depending on my age.
Okay.
If you are older, your risk profile or your risk appetite should be winding down.
Okay.
But if you are younger,
you can take some risk.
You can take some risk.
Okay.
Because if you are younger, your investment horizon should be longer for the long term. If you want to do the long term, then look at some equities.
Okay.
I tell people that I find it very interesting when I hear people saying that I'm going to go into the stock market maybe for 1 year and I get out.
No.
You'll get your fingers bent.
Some investment advice from the MD of Dafin Finance, Frank Kwache, on the business edition of PM Express. Let's turn attention to some other news tonight. Former Commissioner of Customs, Wallace Akando, is making a case for government to consider improving existing systems at the ports rather than introduce an entirely new system. His comment is in reaction to the introduction of a new port management system, Unipass. The system, which will be managed by South Korean firm Customs Unipass International Agency, is to help provide a comprehensive national single window platform to rake in more revenue. According to Mr. Akando, implementing a new system is not the best option for improving revenue mobilization at the ports.
I have been to Korea to look at the Unipass. I can tell you that we don't need every aspect of the Unipass. Indeed, at the time that we had looked at it, the recommendations that we made was to look at some aspects of the Unipass, because aspects of it we already have. Right.
So you think there's no need for it?
No, not the whole. There were aspects of the Unipass that we can make do with, that we can improve our system with. Yeah, but for systems that are already existing and which are working efficiently, I don't know who will want to reinvent the wheel. Those aspects that we are deficient in currently, and which if we bring aspects of the Unipass can improve, I'm all for it. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Because sometimes people misunderstand what you are saying. It's like if you have something that is working for you and is good, you don't need to throw it away just because there's a new idea. You can always improve what you have with new ideas.
Well, in another development, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has revoked the operating license of freight forwarding firm Fantiga Company Limited. This follows an investigation by the GRA, which revealed that the company falsified documents at the ports and at the port of loading from India to China, leading to undervaluation causing loss of revenue to the state. Ebenezer Sabute has more in the following report.
In a circular issued in the dailies, the Ghana Revenue Authority indicated it has banned Vida Diganos, a freelance clearing agent, and Ni Ajay Soa, an employee of Fantega Company Limited, for allegedly facilitating the deal which led to undervaluation at the Tema port. According to the GRA, the aforementioned persons will not be allowed to enter any customs facility at the port or transact business with the division. The GRA has also warned that its members who engage themselves in similar dealings will be dealt with accordingly. Let's hear from the Commissioner of the Customs, Isaac Rensel.
The special prosecutor is about to start his work.
And definitely, when we find out that we and the freight forwarder and, of course, the transistor will hand over to the special prosecutor. We want them, and we are going to ensure that these things are carried forward.
The commissioner is carrying out investigations on some other firms for onward prosecution. Ebenezer Sabute's report for Joy Business.
Well, a lot happening at the ports. The Deputy Minister of Transport, Daniel Titus Glover, has charged the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and DCNet to beef up its monitoring mechanisms at the ports to prevent diversion of transit goods into the local market. Now, the comment comes on the back of recent actions by the GRA to sanction some officials and agents who diverted transit goods and other related offences. He urged port officials to pay attention to tracking devices on loading vehicles.
Transit trade involves so many people: customs, GPHA, Shippers Authority, what they call it, freight forwarders, Food and Drugs Authority. I mean, anybody who had something to do with transit trade. If you said the cargo is going to Burkina, Mali, or Niger, why do you divert it to Ghanaian market? It's wrong. It's wrong because indeed if it's coming to Ghanaian market, it means that we have to charge the duty on it. But you say it's a transit, but you are not paying anything here. When it gets to those final destinations, that's where they charge their duty there. But you've diverted into Ghanaian market. So it means that you are a nation wrecker. When the cargo is also going, sometimes they have physical people, custom people who go along with the cargo. They also have a tracking device, a device on it. You see this device broken. But this device is supposed to be monitored at the center. So immediately if it is touched, we should find a way to reach the driver on phone, or we should communicate to the next customs border point so that we're able to find out from the driver what has happened. For all you know, it is not intentional. There can be something wrong with the device. Then they can look at it. So I'm trying to encourage GCNet Customs to be serious in the tracking device and the monitoring system that we have to make sure we have the best of it. Because if somebody has come to import his cargo and is going and we are piffering, sometimes they open the boxes and they temper and steal some of these things. It is not in the interest of our country. So it's a caution and warning to all those nation wreckers who divert this cargo from making government generate the needed revenue for development of our country.
Turning to the aviation sector, and Minister for Aviation is hinting of acquiring aircraft from Canadian aircraft manufacturer Bombardier to furnish fleet for the nation's home-based carrier. Minister for Aviation Kofi Adda disclosed this after the Canadian High Commissioner to Ghana paid him a courtesy visit today. Sheila Tamaklo reports.
With one of its headquarters in Canada, Bombardier is a leader in manufacturing of airspace technologies and aircrafts. Speaking to Joy Business following the courtesy call by the Canadian High Commissioner, Minister for Aviation Kofi Adda said the ministry may be acquiring some aircrafts from the manufacturer for the home-based carrier.
Canada has a good track record and history of doing well in the aviation sector, particularly in the manufacturing of aircraft in the Bombardier plant in Toronto. That's why we're thinking we can acquire some aircraft to add on to the fleet of the home-based carrier that we're going to bring about very soon. They also have some potential credit facilities, such as export credit, that they could make available to us to be able to acquire the aircraft. So in conferring with her, we're discussing those potential areas for collaboration.
Meanwhile, the Canadian High Commissioner to Ghana said they are willing to support in other services besides aircraft supply.
And we're very pleased already that we have Canadian Bombardier planes flying here in Ghana. Lots of potential for growth, including for Ghana's own airline. But beyond just the aircrafts itself, there's other strategies, including through data collection, through training, other services where we think that Canadian companies and our two governments working together can help to develop the aviation sector here in Ghana for mutual benefit.
Sheila Tamaklu for Joy Business.
All right, another important development in the aviation sector I want to update you on. Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, John Atefa, has been relieved of his position. He's been asked to hand over to his deputy, Kwakwa. We don't know exactly why he's been asked to go, but for now, Yakwakwa will act until a substantive appointment is made by government. My colleague Sheila Tamaklo once again brings us the details. All right, we will skip that and speak to my colleague George Yafe for some more, to make some more sense of all that is happening. George, pretty surprising that we have to hear today that Mr. Tefa has been sacked. What are we learning so far about what we're hearing?
Daryl, it's so difficult to officially put our finger on the actual official reasons why he's been asked to step aside. But as you hear the name Ghana Airport Company Limited by liability, we have board members, we have shareholders, and for such decisions, you are expecting that the board would meet, acting through their shareholders, to make that formal communication that we don't want so and so to still continue acting as the managing director for the Ghana Airport Company. Rather, that didn't happen. We've had an announcement to try to identify where it came officially, and also that has been communicated out. So one worrying thing will be about whether the due process was followed, even in asking the managing director to step out. Since it's limited by liability company, we're expecting that they'll go through the laid down company rules in asking an MD to step aside, but that has not been done. There are lots of news flying the rumor mill, but if you have been following development at the airport company for the past 2 weeks or even a week, you would know that something was just coming, and either somebody has to go out or an announcement has such be had to be made. So it is still not clear, but one rumor that has come up really is the fact that maybe the MD wasn't getting along with some new ministers who have come in and all the rest with respect to the regulation of the airport sector. And that would be more of a personal indifference in how things should be done. There are also rumors that some people wanted to have their way and he wasn't prepared to give way in, and that is why they had to work their way through the powers that be to ask him to step aside. So lots of issues are going around, Daryl, and we're still trying our best to put our finger on what would be or what was the actual reason. But for him, again, if we talk to people who are very, very close to him, he believes that he did what he's supposed to do as an MD. He contributed his quota. He helped also in trying to build the books of the airport company in making it a very profitable company. And therefore, if those that be, the powers that be, want him to step aside, he's willing to go. He's not going to challenge the process, and he's willing to step aside.
We know that he was appointed in 2017 by the president. What do we know about where he came from, what he's been able to achieve during the one-year period he's been in office? Of course, we can talk about the famous Terminal 3. It was under his watch that we saw that come into existence. What kind of legacy is he leaving behind?
I think what kind of legacy, Daryl, he's leaving behind is still trying to build the books of the Ghana Airport Company in terms of having more of a strong financials. Obviously, one of the major things that, Daryl, they were trying to look at is that these facilities or infrastructure were borrowed funds. They took loans to build it. So how can we quickly turn them around in terms of making the Terminal 3, trying to increase passenger numbers and more flights coming in so that they can make some money to pay off this loan? So you look at he continuing with that process of trying to commercialize indeed the operations of, again, the commercial division of this Kotoka International Airport, where you're bringing in more traffic, you're having in more people setting up shops there, and trying to get a lot of money or commercialize the activities of Kotoka International Airport, try and make a lot of money from the airlines who are coming in, who are increasing their flight schedules, so that they'll be able to make enough money and pay off the loan that they took, whilst they look at how they can also, again, build other terminals in the country, and even the existing ones also make sure that they are self-sufficient, so that as they pay the money, they'll be looking at long-term strategies in trying to make these terminals more profitable and make money to sustain it, rather than turning on government to actually maintain the facilities.
And George, we have seen major developments in the aviation sector in the last couple of years. So much happening in the system. We don't know for now who is going to take over. We know there's a substantive MD in place, which is a deputy, or Kwakwa. What kind of task has any new person appointed to take over? What kind of task is he on to when he or she takes office?
Darryl, one thing that is clear is that going forward, I don't think, unless I stand to be correct, in terms of direct government subvention, the Ghana Airport Company would not be getting that. So whoever is coming on board is how do you make the Ghana Airport Company self-sufficient in terms of looking at the existing infrastructure and making more revenue out of it. And you could see that even from the airlines, and Africa Airport has stated that since they moved their sub-regional operations to Terminal 3, they've seen a massive boost in terms of passenger numbers. Don't forget that, Darryl, every ticket that you buy, there's a tax that you pay on it, a portion that goes to the Ghana Airport Company. So the more people fly or use the terminal, the more the Ghana Airport Company gets money. So the task for any new person that will take on board is that person should have that business acumen or mind or strategies to see how they can make a lot of money from the existing infrastructure. Don't forget the car parks as well. There's been going debate about whether even the staff themselves should be even paying the fees as well. How do you attract more international franchise as well to operate there in terms of setting up hotel facilities and all the rest? You look at other lands in the immediate catchment area of the Ghana Airport Company. How can you lease these properties as well to make the best in terms of money out of it so that the Ghana Airport Company will be self-sufficient? It's not just about Kotoka International Airport. You're talking about the Kumasi as well. Now we understand that could be an international airport. I stand to be corrected. You can talk about Tamale as well. So how do you raise more money from Kotoka to again support the other terminals as well? Don't forget, they're also trying to bring in private investors to develop private airstrips as well, so that we can also boost tourism in that area. So that person should be a strategist. That person should be somebody who can go out there, lead investor, engagement to bring in these investors for them to establish their presence here so that we can get more money and make the Ghana Airport Company more self-sufficient and even pay off all the loans that they've taken to build this infrastructure.
All right. Thanks very much. Assistant Editor, Joy Business, George Rafi, speaking there on the latest developments in the aviation sector. I'm talking about the sacking of the MD of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, John Atefa. That'll be all for Business Live tonight. Thanks for watching. Of course, there's more news on our website, joybusinessnews.com. My name is Darryl Powell. We'll be back next week.